Hello, I'm Stephen Watson here at Someday Farm with a little lesson for your Neja Chuan practice. I'm standing here in the school among a crowd of benches and blackjacks and the area heater kind of also in the corner. There's a cord here and another air purifier and heater and just feel crowded, a little jammed up. But I guess, yeah, there's a little bit of a lane here. Let's just say, for example, I was working on this stepping drill. And let's also assume for a moment that I'm doing it perfectly well and precisely. It's very clear to me, and perhaps to you on the video, that I have enough room to do that drill. I haven't bumped into anything. I'm doing my footwork precise. I haven't bumped into anything. But you can probably imagine that I don't feel like I have enough room for the drill. I measured it, and I actually do. Similarly, I might have, a practice like wave hands like clouds, right? And I definitely have enough space, right? But I don't feel like it. I was sort of considering the bench and the blanket and the backjack and I was maybe worried about it or anxious about it or paying inordinate attention to it rather than my actual practice, just like I would have if I was passing this cord that's on the ground, for example. So the idea is very often people will be practicing and they wind up with less than the psychological space that they would prefer and is in fact geometrically available to them. And when they check, they say, well, I was able to complete it. I did have room. I didn't bump, the wall when I did that move. I didn't trip on something. I didn't get in the other student's way. So there was room, sort of mathematically, there was room. And so I can practice the same way again. But I think even though I've exaggerated the crowdedness, we could all probably pretty well imagine that I would feel quite a bit better practicing now, or if I was to continue to move these, I'd feel even better, or move myself to a clear space. So the idea is to recognize value and commit to what I refer to as the psychological space. And sometimes that's cleaning the space, sometimes it's lighting the space, heating or cooling the space, and often it's just physically making the space so that even though I could do it here, I would be a little bit happier if I swept first. Even though I could fit my practice in here, I feel much better fitting it when I have room so that I don't feel constrained. So this is a very, very important thing to do. Now, the flip side of that practice, recognizing that we can be affected by the psychological space in a way that we might not physically be limited, right? So psychologically now, I even just readjusting things, I just don't feel like if I was doing circle stepping here, maybe I actually have enough room to do that practice here, but I don't feel like it. So then I can take that same practice and say, well, I recognize that even when I do have room, I may not feel that I have the room, and therefore I may not apply myself to the art as well as I might because I'm paying attention to the other things that concern me, like running out of space. And so practicing purposefully where your psychological space is constrained, but your physical space is not, is a really, really, really wonderful practice. And that might just mean practicing in a thick forest where the space is, and it might mean rearranging a few things for yourself. And it might mean when the kids' toys are all on the floor, instead of cleaning them up in practice, practice with them as they are and see how that works for you. So enjoy and do your best to make space for new people to join the art.